I saved a wealthy businessman who collapsed from a heart attack. Out of gratitude he decided to grant me one wish. Everyone thought I'd asked to marry his daughter, after all I'd liked her for 7 years. After hesitating a while I asked, could I maybe get some shares in the company? I figured I could use the dividends to pursue a model instead. My words left everyone in shock. Seeing their expressions I panicked thinking they'd refuse. So I quickly added, or maybe you could just let me date her for a couple of months. The room remained silent until the wealthy man's adopted daughter Betsy said, it's funny, you'd pay to date a model but you'd date me for free. She spoke with a faint smile, her cold but striking beauty captivating me. Here's how it all started. Just that morning I was out on the street when my bag was stolen along with my new phone. I chased the thief but couldn't catch him. Instead I stumbled upon a man having a heart attack. After calling an ambulance and getting him to the hospital he was grateful to me for saving him, and that's how he came to offer me a single wish. Everyone at the hospital expected me to use the wish to pursue his daughter Betsy. When he asked me what I wanted I hesitated, glancing over at Betsy. She was tall with a natural grace and beauty that took my breath away. I could barely believe someone like her existed. Beside her his biological daughter Anna seemed ordinary in comparison. The businessman introduced Betsy formally as his adopted daughter, a position that even within the company had made her respected, though no one had mentioned just how beautiful she was. So have you thought about your wish? He asked. I hesitated, then said, maybe I could have a small stake in the company. Just a little enough to get some annual dividends so I can see if a model would date me. The room fell silent again. Anna interrupted, do you know what you're asking for? She probably thought I was greedy. I quickly defended myself saying, just a little bit, not enough to make a difference. To my shock Betsy knocked over her water glass, taken aback. The businessman finally spoke, asking, are you sure? Betsy looked at me and said, or would you prefer I date you for a while? I joked back, just 2 months and I'll return you after that. Anna was outraged, her voice rising, have you lost your mind? The businessman used to high-stakes deals kept his composure and asked for Betsy's opinion. She smiled and said, why would he pay to date a model but expect to date me for free? Laughing I replied, fine, I'll give you some of my salary for it. I make $6,000 a month, so let me know what's fair. Betsy chuckled, at that rate you'd better keep it yourself. To my surprise she agreed, even adding me on social media. Her profile picture was strikingly similar to mine, both were shadowy images taken in the sunlight from the same angle. When she offered to drive me home after the hospital I was stunned at her kindness. As we left Anna approached, pulling me aside. What's your deal? She asked. She'd ignored me for years and suddenly she seemed upset. You look like someone who's pretending not to care after missing out on concert tickets, I replied, amused. Monday at work my manager dumped a stack of files on my desk saying he'd put in a good word for me with Anna if I'd help out. Normally I'd do it hoping for Anna's approval, but today I pushed the stack back saying, you should handle these yourself. Later when he begged me to cover for him so he could go out drinking with Anna I refused, saying I had a date. My manager laughed. You on a date? And you're not chasing Anna? Suddenly he froze, seeing Betsy at the doorway. She said calmly, yes, he's with me tonight. Is that an issue? He stammered a response and we left together. In the elevator Betsy asked what I wanted for dinner, catching me off guard. I realized I was nervous around her, her casual confidence was disarming. As we reached the 18th floor where Anna's office was, Betsy leaned in, commenting on my cologne. Just then the doors opened and there stood Anna watching us. Betsy stood protectively in front of me and replied calmly, it's after work hours. Anna's face darkened as the doors closed. She muttered, Lee, you're ruthless. Confused I looked at Betsy, who asked softly, are we just pretending or do you actually like me? Her question was a game changer. I sighed, no, I really do like you. Betsy gave a satisfied smile, slipping my cologne into her pocket, saying, I'll keep this then. I couldn't believe she found such value in my cologne. The next day I was reassigned to Anna's department, a role I had once dreamed of. But now I felt conflicted. It was awkward and Anna took every chance to make things difficult, loading me with tasks. Then one day Betsy showed up to pick me up after work, causing a stir. Anna tried to stop her, reminding her of my obligations, but Betsy gently held my hand and said, we have plans. Anna seated her voice low, remember who you're working for, Lee. This could affect your bonus. Betsy though led me out of the office, never once losing her poise. That night as we walked out together I realized how deeply I'd fallen for her. After a week of working under Anna I heard rumors she'd physically confronted Betsy over a mishap with a promotional display. I called Betsy worried, but she brushed it off, saying she was used to it. Later when I video called her I noticed a faint bruise under her eye. I couldn't help but curse, but she just laughed it off, saying, a bruise will heal and you called me, so I'm happy. As our relationship grew so did the tension between her and Anna. The day Anna spotted us laughing together she glared as if daring me to keep this up. But I knew I'd made my choice. Betsy had this effect on me, making me feel like anything was possible. And for once I was ready to let go of the 7 years I'd wasted chasing Anna and embrace the unexpected happiness I'd found with Betsy.